So before we start with hockey, I'm sitting there reading some articles today, and this one, and I'm like, this is something that I want to talk to Eric about. So did you hear about these 10 guys in New Orleans that escaped this prison from behind a toilet?
Yeah, and they left a sign that said "Too easy."
Graffiti on the wall. So 5, as it stands right now, 5 are still at large. They caught the last guy sleeping on a bench waiting for a bus. Hey, I've never been on the run. I'm sure it's tiring. You're just trying to get some Z's in at times, so whatever. I'm not going to judge. The thing is, Eric, you can gamble on this. If they find the last 5 by Friday, there's some sites that you can gamble on it. You know me, I like to sprinkle. Isn't that something?
That's, when your financial advisor says to diversify, you don't want to put all your bets on who you think's going to win the cup, who's a 2-game parlay here, 2-game there. I like mixing up, something, a little long shot, maybe a U.S. presidential election or something like that. But this one, that's new to me. Is the wager that all 5 of them have to be caught, or are there different wagers? It pays differently depending on how many they catch.
Well, I think over the next couple days here, some of the other sites could get a little kinky on things. But right now, it's just 5 by Friday. But hey, I love these kind of stories, but you got 10 guys there, and there's video of them running out of the facility. Now, one guy gets arrested that was a caretaker because he shut the water off, so he's kind of aiding in all this. So he's that guy's screwed. But and some of the guys are sleeping on the bench guy. But the one guy posted on Instagram, something on Instagram right away. No. And I'm like, hey, not that we're going to, if you get ever with 10 guys and you escape from prison, like, aren't you finding the nearest train in the night and just getting on that train and seeing where it takes you?
Yeah. Yeah. And you're probably staying off social media, just throwing that out there. Like, it might be a good idea to steer clear of letting people know that you're out and about. All this reminds me of years ago, I was playing golf in Denver with Joe Colburn, actually, former Calgary Flame.
Yep.
And he had moved out to Denver where he'd played college hockey, and he was just enjoying retirement and such. And we couldn't believe how many helicopters and like sirens there were all day long. But we could see from the golf course we were at, it was off the beaten track, and we were playing next to a penitentiary. And sure as hell, 2 guys that escaped that day, and we were starting to see reports on our phone. You check in on your phone, like, I wonder what's going on here. Sure enough, 2 guys were on the lam in and around where we were. I have never given up on the search for a golf ball so quickly in my life. Like, anything in the woods was getting left there. There was no chance I was going a foot in to find out, some guy wearing camouflage shirt jump up and grab me. I don't know. We were terrified. I've never been scared playing golf. I was a little nervous that day, I'll tell you, to be honest. Funny Denver golf story. I was there on the weekend, played with the boy at the University of Denver, played twice. Sunday, his 14th birthday, he nipped me. He was 83, I was 84. He was 1 tees up, but on his birthday, he beat me. 14th birthday. That's great.
Isn't it?
That's great. Yeah, that's awesome.
There was a course by one of the rinks that my daughter was playing at, and him and his buddies, they went and looked for balls. They got 2 big shopping bags that they brought back in this guy's half ton of golf balls. So we were playing on Sunday, and the guys are like, yeah, when you go down by the water there, watch out because the snakes are out. And I'm like, huh?
Oh, no.
I'm like, huh? And he's like, yeah,
Oh, wow.
Lots of bull snakes, the odd rattler. And I said, it's not that hot. He's like, no, they're out. So I go to my son and I'm like, hey, when you bozos were looking for balls for 3 hours down, do you know why? Because no one goes and looks for them because they're snakes.
No way.
Yeah, you gotta watch out. You gotta watch out for that.
Oh my God. Hey, I have a question. Did you pay the tariff on those golf balls when you brought them back to Canada? Pay the tariff?
Yeah, no. It's I think
Anyway.
aren't golf balls exempt? The only, top flights are anyway.
If anyone was going to put an exemption on something, it would be that golf mad president. He would be like, yeah, golf's exempt from everything because I love it.
Oh, what a sweet swing he has.
Hey, there's a book out there called Commander in Chief. Have you ever read it?
No.
It's Rick Riley, one of the great writers of our time, wrote a book, and the entire book is about how Donald Trump cheats at golf. And as he conducts himself on a golf course is how he conducts himself in life. It is the biggest smear job I've ever read in my life, and I can't turn the pages fast enough. I'm loving every story. Every chapter is a news story about what a dirtbag move that the president pulled on somebody in match play or something, or how much he lied. Because he claims he won 18 club championships. and Rick Riley goes through and debunks 17 of them. 17 of them are never happened. One is only partially in question, but no one's aware of it other than the president. So pretty fascinating.
What was that? Didn't the guy from North Korea say that like he played golf once and he shot par or something? Like these guys are all over the place.
Yeah.
18 hole in one. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, that's 18 hole in ones. Amazing.
Jeez.
Who's going to dispute it?
Okay. And then maybe at the end of our segment, I took so many notes on this trip for our podcast, our traveling podcast, airplane stuff, airport stuff. So I got a lot of good stuff written down here. But let's get into hockey. Goss Despair, does he shoot that puck at Marchand?
You're damn right he does. And I'm not big on that. Like that. Look, we all get frustrated playing hockey, and like I thought it was interesting. Aaron Ekblad goes, "Hey, we block shots all game long. The result is the same whether somebody intentionally fired at you or not. It hurts the same or it doesn't hurt." Like Ekblad was kind of dismissing it, saying no big deal. I think it's very, very symbolic, and it might be one of the most ultimate signs of disrespect out there. I have no problem with Marchand going after him, especially since the game was already out of hand. Send a message saying we're not going to take that, and then get the rest of the night off. It's not the worst thing.
Have you ever covered a game where that's happened before, or the old 80s or 90s thing? Cam Moon told this story on the Fan 960 today when he was playing with the Blades. I think it was somebody from the Blades fired one into Brandon's bench. Have you ever seen this, heard about something like this before?
Yeah, it's funny you asked that because when we were in the bubble, not the playoff bubble, but during the pandemic when Calgary played in empty stadiums, Calgary was playing Toronto, and at the very end of a game, I can't remember who it was, someone fired a puck at Matthew Tkachuk, and all the Flames players were skating off the ice because they thought the game had ended, and they just didn't see that last little flip. And you're speaking about flip, like Matthew Tkachuk flipped and tried to kill everybody he could out on the ice. And ultimately he stormed off the ice furious, I think, as legend has it around here, like everyone pretty much understood. He was furious because nobody came to defend him. He was there battling alone. He's like, somebody flipped a puck at me and you clowns all left the ice. And it really stuck in his craw. Like he slammed the gate as he left. He was pretty pissed off. And so, yeah, he didn't take it too kindly to it. I remember writing about how disrespectful I thought it was and unnecessary. But, of course, Leaf Nation went nuts, cramming it down my throat because it's Matthew Tkachuk and he's kind of hard to defend at times.
Yeah. Is it going to be really, really hard just from watching what we see yesterday? Hey, and Carolina had a lot of chances to score there, but it comes, what I'm thinking is it's going to be really hard for Carolina to win 4 games against these guys.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think so. The shot attempts last night were double for Carolina over Florida, but I'm with you. The game looked almost easy for the Florida Panthers. And look, you look at the 4 teams left, and I'll give you that 3 of the 4 can win the Cup. But there's one clear favorite to me, and that's Florida, because I think they're going to be able to breeze through Carolina. Breeze is probably a strong word. They're a sneaky good team and disciplined and well coached and all that. But Florida, I just think, is so been there, done that. They know what to do. And then, in the other series, I don't mean to disrespect Dallas or Edmonton by saying that Florida's the clear favorite, but it's a coin flip to me on whether or not Dallas or Edmonton's getting through to the Stanley Cup final. Whereas I think the path is a whole lot clearer for Florida.
We'll get to Edmonton and Dallas in a second. Last thing on the other one. The other thing that I noticed last night is even though they're up 4-2 and then 5-2, Florida just keeps bullying them around the ice. And it's almost like Florida's down and they're going to take liberties because it's a long series possibly, but it's the other way around. Florida, finishing every check, cross-checking. Like they're that team. Yeah.
They get it, and we all know that a champion, is the one that steps on your throat and finishes you off. And that's kind of what they're doing. Like, even in a game where it was already well in hand, they were still dishing out as much punishment as possible and reminding them that we're going to make every single puck battle really hard on you if you want to try and just, bump off the champs. So, yeah, they get it. I mean, you tell me something that Florida's missing, and I'll be surprised. Like coaching, defense, 2 great top lines. They've been there already. They've done that. They've also been to the final before and been disappointed in losing. Like, they check every single box. You tell me if they're missing something. I'd be pretty fascinated to hear it.
Eye candy behind the bench. That's the only thing that I can think of. But let's go to Dallas and let's go to Dallas and Edmonton. I don't know what to make of it. Like, Prairie Land Rentals text lines, we had a couple guys like, what's the sprinkle tonight? Where do you go? I'm like, don't ask me anymore. Yeah. And I'm like, I do not know, because this series, I feel the Oilers could be down 2-0 or vice versa, and it still goes 7. I just can't rule anything out.
Yeah, can't rule anything out. I mean, I think the big advantage Dallas has is Ottinger over Skinner or whoever else ends up playing at least a game or 2 in this series for Edmonton. But other than that, I've seen a lot of people that cover it really closely who covered either one of those teams, and they say, this is so eerily similar to last year's matchup, which was won by Edmonton in 6 games. And I agree. I know that Edmonton lost some speed in the offseason. They got offer sheeted and they had a couple of surprises, but I think they've managed to kind of pick up some speed along the way with a waiver claim. They made a trade for Bud Colson. I just think they've slowly crept up to being just as good as they were last year, if not better. And the most important thing, I think, for the Oilers has been that, A, they're a little bit more rested than anybody else, but B, the depth has really come to the fore. I don't know if it's still going to be there in round 3 or round 4 if they get there, but the depth has been the story in Edmonton the whole playoff.
What's the deal with Ekholm? They're getting one of their best players back at some point. I don't know what the status is tonight. Did you ever look it up, Colson or Sheriff?
They say he's not playing game 1 or 2, but hey, we've all seen these games being played. But he skated this morning, without a no-hit jersey on. He will be. You're right. He will be back before the end of this series, and that is a huge boost morale-wise, but also to their personnel, assuming he can be anywhere close to 100%.
It could, special teams in this series could be the way, right? Because both power plays can be lethal, and the Oilers, although it started a little bit slow and pedestrian, I don't know. I like we talked about. It's a coin flip to me, and we can maybe on Monday we'll have a better idea. What are you thinking to go back to Toronto? Just because, what are you hearing? What are you thinking? If you were going to sprinkle Marner and Tavares definitely gone next year?
No, I think it's a 50-50 proposition. Like, I think, and when I say that, I mean, I think Marner's 100% gone, and I think Tavares is returning. So half of them are coming back, but not the other half. I mean, I think it's to the point where, you know, that video we're just showing right now where Marner's screaming, wake up, everybody. I just feel like that was all lip service. Like, we just didn't see, right? I mean, oh yeah, you're full of fire and piss and vinegar there, Mitch Marner. Like, you don't hit anybody. You don't. Anyway, the whole province of Ontario and Leaf fans around the world are done with Mitch Marner. You will not find a single Leaf fan out there who's going, no, give him one more chance. Next playoff, he'll be amazing. Nobody is saying that. The money that he's going to be demanding, through no fault of his own, is going to be in the $12 million, $13 million range. The Leafs can't afford that. You'd rather keep a center in Tavares than a winger in Marner anyway. I think it's pretty cut and dried that that's what's going to happen. Now you talk about sprinkling. Tell me where your money is in terms of where Mitch Marner's going, because I think you could look at 4 or 5 places where I think it makes a lot of sense. Anaheim, but to me, where it makes the most sense and where I would put my money, Chicago Blackhawks. They need someone to set up Connor Bedard and make Connor Bedard want to stay and feel good about himself and grow them and teach him. And I think Mitch Marner is exactly that guy, and they have all the money to do it. So to me, that's the place he should go.
NHL insider Eric Francis for Southie Mainline Chrysler is here. I was talking to a guy at the rink yesterday, and he thinks that is the play. First off, can we take Calgary, Vancouver, Montreal? Don't even insult everyone's intelligence that that's a possibility. That's where he's going to go. The only thing about Chicago is, they got a lot of money. Unless they do something drastic, they're going to stink again. Like, they're not built to win in the league. They're young. They're weak on a number of different, and there's some pressure in Chicago, right? It's the Blackhawks. Like, if you're Mitch Marner, after what you put up with, like, save the KHL or going to Sweden, go play somewhere where no one knows you, which would be live in Long Beach or live on, wherever, Laguna Beach, wherever they live, play in Anaheim.
Yeah. And that's why I alluded to Anaheim. To me, I think they're going to make one of the strongest pushes. And, I think that's a really, that fit makes a lot of sense to me from both sides. You can get away from it all, hide your family a little bit. He's been talking a lot in the media about how his family is really, taking all the criticism and everything quite hard. I think it'd be great for him. And I've heard all year long that he definitely doesn't want to play anywhere in Canada other than Toronto. And I still think up until recently, I still think he wanted to stay in Toronto and finish his career there. But I think that the way he disappeared in the playoffs again for the umpteenth time in a row has made it clear that that's a divorce that needs to happen. And I think he even sees it now too.
Okay, next week I saw this on social media today, and we can talk about this. The 2026, as it stands right now, the free agency class. Whoa, are there some names on that? But we can get to that. First thing that I got on the plane the other day, and we're flying, and I'm like, well, here's my first thing for Eric. The person that's going down a plane, and let's keep in mind, this isn't Arab Emirates. Like, this is a small plane, Regina to Calgary, the first leg. The person, and there's always one that's sitting there counting the rows, like they're going to throw a monkey wrench in, and all of a sudden from 14 to 76, they count the rows. They're 12, and then they miss their row. Oh, I'm back there. Then everyone's got to push back, and they got to grab their bag, and they got to go, sorry, I'm in 10. 8, 9, 10. When you got to 11, 12, and 13, did you not feel lost?
Yeah, it's killer. And in that same vein, there's the guy who goes to the washroom. He gets on plane first, goes to the back of the plane to go to the washroom, and then he's got to come up 25 rows, and to get through all the traffic that's going one way to the back I've seen that guy quite a bit. And the other, I've seen people go all the way to the back looking for a spot for their bag. They get on late.
Yeah.
And they go all the way to the back, and then they got to fight their way through the crowd again to get to the front to tell somebody, I can't find a place for my bag. Love it.
That you just put it on your lap, and then they have to come and take it and put it somewhere for you anyway. What are you going through to work for? Think the game.
Yeah. All you're doing is delaying the flight. You're going to make sure that we're late wherever we're going.
I got so many more. All right.
Okay, good.
Have a good night. Really looking forward to Monday and see how this series shakes down. And I'm sure you're golfing, so hit them straight.
I'll be in Edmonton covering the series, so but Monday's a day off, which means okay. I'll have to call you from the golf course. We'll figure it out.
I have a reciprocal at Mayfair and Petroleum Club. I should come in.
Come on in. You stay in my room. We'll have a party. It'll be fun. We'll pretend we're in university. We're sharing quarters.
Calling down for a cot. Excuse me? What year is that? It's the Imperial 400.
Exactly.
Okay. Have a good one. See you, Aaron.
Yeah, cheers.